Here's how you can make your brand stand out. So I have been working in brand for about 10 years. And before that, I worked in social media and content creation. So I actually had the opportunity to bring together a lot of those kind of disciplines and practices with true brand work in the last 10 years. And I have worked with influencers and content creators since they were called bloggers back in 2008. So it's been a really fun journey, and I've been able to incorporate personal branding alongside branding at more of a company or enterprise level, which has given me kind of, I think, a unique kind of POV on brand. On the small business front, and why I'm excited to be here at Relay, is that I've spent the last 5.5 years working with small business owners in the digital space, in the education space, and now I get to expand my world to include all sorts of small businesses, which is really exciting. So when I think about brand, I really try to boil it down to a clear definition, which for me is just how you show up in the world and the unique story that you tell. I think brand gets a bad reputation for being confusing, but if you really think about it as a combination of how you show up visually and the story you're telling, it becomes a little easier to digest. The key parts of creating a strong brand, I break it down into three. Consistency first and foremost, because the way you show up in the world needs to be authentic and it needs to be repeatable. If you show up differently every time, you're really going to lose that brand recognition that you're looking for. You want people to see your brand and instantly know that it's you. Another thing that can really set your brand apart is a true sense of empathy in the story you tell and the work that you do. So being able to put yourself in your customer's shoes, recognize their pain points, and recognize the solutions that are going to get them really excited is a key part of having a strong brand. The third one is originality. Really showing up as your authentic self through any sort of brand storytelling you do is going to really differentiate your brand and make it that much stronger. On the small business level, building brand trust is really important, and a simple way to think about it is through the lens of authenticity. So showing up in a really authentic way, being true to yourself, true to the voice of your brand, is really going to give you that extra little differentiation that can set you apart in the market. And it's going to start building trust with your customer. If they can rely on you to show up authentically and to show up in the same ways, it becomes really exciting for them to interact with the brand over time and see how it evolves. As a small business owner, brand can feel really intimidating, but there are a few simple things you can do to start building up your discipline and your understanding of brand. So one of the first ones you can try is zeroing in on a moment of pain that your customer experiences and thinking about how you are uniquely positioned to solve it and to speak to the pain really authentically. If you can solve for one core problem that your customer has, you'll really skyrocket in terms of the trust that you're building and also the recognition that you can get from that customer as being, like we said before, really empathetic and really plugged into their needs and desires. An easy way to make your brand stand out and to build your discipline around brand is to really understand the person that you're speaking to and make them the core focus. If you try to serve all the customers you possibly can serve from the beginning, you're going to quickly find that you're losing focus and your brand storytelling is going to be all over the place. So one easy way to put this into practice is to do the party guest exercise. So this is an exercise, you just use your imagination, maybe write it out, maybe make a mural board, whatever works for you. Imagine that your customer has showed up at the party. Think about how they look, what they're wearing, what they're talking about. Are they introverted? Are they extroverted? Are they focused on work? Are they talking more about personal things? Really give them a full persona and personality, and that's going to help you zero in on the brand storytelling you need to do to reach them. Something really fun to do is to flip this and to actually think about your brand as the person at the party. So how is your brand interacting with your customer at this party? What is your brand talking about as a person? What do they look like? What's their feel? This is just a really great way to take brand out of the realm of kind of imagination and how it can get so big and confusing and bring it down to a really practical exercise you can do anytime. One way you can really work on the strength of your brand as a small business owner is to nail down your brand story. You want to stay consistent with your brand story and you want it to be authentic. An easy way to start this practice is just to sit down and type. Really start to let yourself just write without interruption and describe the origin story of your brand. Why did you start your company? What do you want to say? What's your mission in the world? And having this down on paper is such a good compass for all of your marketing work, the way that you'll interact with customers, and how you build your brand for the future. Staying close to your customer is one way to practice really great brand discipline as a small business owner. You want to understand your customer not just in the present moment, but as they grow over time. You want to evolve your brand story to meet them where they're at. And one easy way to do that is to meet with them in real life. Give them a call, have lunch, learn what their new struggles are, what they're worried about, what they're excited about, and use your brand story to reach them and use that empathy that you're crafting to really bring the brand to life for them by addressing those pains and celebrating the wins that they're excited about right along with them. Some easy to make mistakes when building your brand are paying too close attention to your competition. That's a really easy way to lose your authentic voice. Focus on yourself and what you're doing. Learn from the best, but don't worry about doing what they're doing. Don't try to be everywhere all at once. It only matters where your audience congregates and where you can meet them naturally. Maybe that's on Instagram, maybe it's on TikTok, maybe it's on LinkedIn, maybe it's just out in the community, but it's definitely not all of those places all at once. Spend your very limited time and energy on the places where you can show up authentically and with a real strategy. Don't try to solve every problem that your customer has just because you can. Focus on a few key issues that they have, maybe even just one at the start, and really craft a brand story that speaks to that. You can tackle those other problems down the road, but keeping your focus is going to make your brand story really strong.